Hi there, I'm John from CNCKing.com, and today we're going to fiber etch my son on some stainless steel. We do a lot of custom portraits here in the shop using a variety of materials, from stainless steel to wood, acacia, plastic, what have you. It's all over the map, and it's always kind of fun to make. In this case here, I had a bit of time between a few jobs and decided to fiber etch my son on some 316 stainless steel plate. So 316 is just more corrosive resistant than 304, but looking at them, you couldn't tell the difference at all. It's more corrosion resistant. So let's say you have a swimming pool with a bromine and chloride, that kind of stuff. If you have a 304 stainless steel plate, after a couple of weeks, it'll start to maybe tarnish and slightly corrode. Any other metal will corrode even more, of course, but 316 will not. So that's the biggest difference I can sort of explain to you. We use these plates a lot here in the shop. They're actually for mining customers, where they make mines or they need to have a display in a desert or something like that, and they need the markings on there to be completely permanent. And in that case there, they can't use screen printing, UV printing, or any sort of printing process that adds ink to it, to the surface. In this case here, what you see is the contrast, and the black is actually part of the metal itself. So the laser did all of this in one shot. There's no inks, dyes, or anything that's been added to it. So that means there's nothing that's going to peel, crack, or fade over time. When it comes to adding photographs to any sort of material, whether it's wood, stainless steel, plastic, what have you, the best photographs are the ones with the highest contrast. And that means black and white imagery. Now there's a lot of ways to produce black and white from a color image. But you want something with very high contrast to begin with. And what I mean by that is that you have very strong sort of dark colors and very, very light colors. So that when it goes to black and white, the laser is either on or off, or if we're doing something with the router, the diameter is either large or small. You want to stay away from muddy pictures. Muddies are pictures with a lot of speckles in them or sort of distractions as well. You noticed on my son, I have a strong black background. Now that just happens to be the chair that Simon was sitting on. So that contrasts greatly with his skin, which is white-ish. So you have the nice contrast of his body outline on that. Now on his head, he's got a mohawk in this, because I guess kids have natural mohawks. And as a result of the mohawk, you have a contrast for the top of the head. He has very dark eyes, so that works out perfect, so you can work out his eyes. If I try to do the picture as a little bit more muddy, sort of like a little bit more faded, or a little less saturation, let's say, in the image, then you lose a lot of these very sharp details that are what really makes the photograph pop, whether we do it again on steel or we do it on wood. Now, other thing to keep in mind is you don't want any distractions in the photo itself. You want to focus on what it is. So I remember we did a project a while ago, and it was actually a cat on wood. There's a video of it somewhere on YouTube and blog post on my website, of course. And on there, we had perfect contrast between the background and the animal in the front. So again, we can work out the outline of the animal based on the background, but there was nothing in the photograph that was distracting. There was no squirrel, there was no bird, there's nothing else in there. And that's what, again, makes this photograph work out so well with Simon, because the only thing you see on there is Simon. There's nothing else for your eye to be distracted by. So just common photography sort of lessons, they also apply to etching or engraving onto other materials. We have a variety of different equipment to process these kind of plates. Water jet, plasma, we also have a router, though I won't use my router for stainless steel, I'll use it for aluminum projects. In this case here, it's just 12 gauge. So you can see here. So 12 gauge is roughly 1/8, a little bit less than 1/8, or a little bit less than 3 millimeters thick. So it's a really decent thickness. If this was out of wood at this thickness, it would crack. There's no wood that would be strong enough for something like this here. The nice thing about stainless steel is that if you do a lot of welding, you can actually weld this to something, and the heat from the welding will not remove the fiber etching, which is kind of cool. So that's why we do a lot of custom welding tags as well. So the customer can do a job, weld the tag to it. It's completely part of the frame or whatever they're using it for. and they don't have to worry about any of it rubbing off or fading or peeling or cracking or all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for custom portraits or anything else on stainless steel, contact me at CNCKing.com. We'll make it for you and ship it right to your door.